What's up, guys? Hey, let me know if you guys can hear me. Hey guys, can you hear me okay? I'm having some trouble with my picture. This is my first time using OBS and I literally don't know what I'm doing, so just give me 1 second, guys. I'm gonna figure this out. Alright, let me know if you guys can see me now. Oh, it still says unsupported resolution. Yeah, you guys can see me now, right? Awesome, awesome. Okay, perfect. What's up, guys? What's up, Jerry? What's up, baby? What's up, Rashal? My wife is online. I see some OGs. Jody, what's going on, man? So guys, this is what we're gonna do. The topic is how to make a reel to land a job. And what we're gonna do is for replays, people who are gonna watch it later, I'm gonna leave chapters and timestamps in the description to just make sure to check those out and just skip to whatever you wanna see. And guys, today's agenda, this is what I'm gonna cover, okay? There's 5 main things that I'm gonna talk about. The first thing is gonna be, I'm gonna move this over here so at least it doesn't look so awkward. I'm just looking off screen. So the first thing I'm gonna cover is gonna be reels nowadays are getting irrelevant, and I want to talk about why that is. Because 5 or 10 years ago, that's the only way to get a job, and I want to touch base on what's happening and what can happen to change that. And then I want to talk about like top mistakes that a lot of filmmakers make when it comes to making a reel. A lot of us forget what's important and to the client, to the other party, than ourselves. Sometimes we just get lost in the process and we create something that's not marketable. And I'm going to talk about how to reverse engineer that, like what they need to see than what you think is cool. So we're going to talk about that. And then I'm going to touch base on, I'm going to show you some of my reels and I'm going to break them down. Okay, so I'm going to play them through, let you digest, and then I'm going to go back in and I'm going to break them down for you and just kind of tell you what's going on, why I'm doing, what's happening here, and then also the aftermath, success and losses. I'm going to tell you if something came out of it or if it didn't work out. And then at the end, I want to share something, a demo reel that I recently created that's been a freaking banger. I mean, the success rate is 100%, and I think everybody who's seeing it is telling me that it's super cutting edge and I'm doing something that they haven't seen yet. So I'm going to be sharing that with you, and I'm going to show you how I went about it and break it down step by step, and I think that's going to be very valuable for you. I'm going to pull this over too, sorry. Sorry about some amateur hour. I'm just figuring out OBS as we go. And then the last thing I'm going to talk about is do's and don'ts, okay? About what's the next step? So you made a reel, right? So what do you do with it? How do you go about it? How do you distribute it? And we're going to touch base on that. And I think that might as well be one of the most important steps in the process. I'm going to give it a couple of minutes, or at least a minute or two, for everybody to just get together, and then I'm going to get going maybe like in 2 minutes, okay? And in the meantime, guys, another thing that I want to tell you is go check out my Instagram page, because there's a lot of content. I'm just going to show you. I'm going to show you right here. Like, just check this out, okay? There's a lot of little nuggets that I put on there. So like top 5 mistakes for filmmakers. I'm gonna let me change the screen so you can see it right here. So go to my Instagram page. The handle is the Cosman, and check out what I post every day. Okay, so I do a lot of stuff like that, you know, where we're showing like top 5 mistakes, you know, people make in a demo reel, and it's a 1-minute quick video, and it's going to be super valuable. Okay, I also give you guys like, you know, crazy breakdowns. So like, look at this grade, but then I have a video where I'm showing you what's happening. Okay, and you can look at my note trees, stuff like that. And so there's like, these are just loaded with that. Like, look at that. Like, I'm just giving away my note tree. I mean, when was the last time you saw a colorist giving this away? Like, people just show the before and afters, but nobody likes to share that. So look what's happening here. So this is what I mean. Check this out. You're going to get tons of stuff like that. You're going to get to see my reels and upcoming events and behind the scenes and things like that. So I think it's very valuable. Handle is the Cosman. Okay. All right. Let's get into it. Thanks, Santi. Appreciate it, man. What's up, Saad? How's it going, man? All right, guys. So let's do this. Let's get going. You know what? I'm so sorry. Just give me 1 second. I'm going to go live on Instagram as well. I'm not as fancy to have multiple people doing stuff for me yet, so I'm new to this whole thing. So just bear with me. We're doing this together. All right, what's up, IG fam? All right, so we're live on IG. My main focus is going to be this camera and YouTube, and then IG people, just please leave a comment, do whatever, and then I'm going to cover that. Okay, guys, let's get into it. Okay, so I want to start off with reels, and when I said why they're irrelevant nowadays. Think about demo reels nowadays as, let me just go back here. Okay. So think about demo reels nowadays. They are modern day business cards. And what I mean by that is that a lot of people, we are living in this social media age where transparency is everything, right? So back in the day, like with demo reels and things like that, it was all about smoke and mirrors. You know, we're building ourselves into these professionals and putting our best work out, which is true. You got to do that. But nowadays, people want to see, you know, you breaking that fourth wall, you know, you connecting with people on a human level, right? So, you know, unless the reel is, you know, very targeted and niche and has a purpose, you know, I mean, just nobody's gonna watch it. Even if you go on my page on Instagram and just scroll through my content and see what gets so much attention compared to even like some of my professional work, if I don't put my face to it, if I don't give you a little backstory or break it down or something like that, you don't want to see it. You know why? Because we're spoiled. Because we see demo reels we see trailers, movie trailers, we see commercials that are $6 million productions, $70 million productions. So what my point is that unless your reel has something to say, and you know, for you to add a unique touch, it's just gonna get lost in the mix. So that's very important to know. So, you know, like I said, it's a modern day business card. Nobody cares about it. Like when you meet somebody, you give them your Instagram handle. You don't hand out business cards, okay? Because it's gonna go in the garbage. Same thing with like websites, like personal websites. What are those? You know what I mean? Like nowadays, everybody is just doing the next big thing, you know, and sharing that with people on Instagram, on YouTube and stuff like that to just get exposure. LinkedIn is a great place. And, you know, a lot of people are misusing LinkedIn. They're still using it as like a career builder sort of thing, you know, where they're so professional and everything. Yes, you can be, but at the same time, it's a great platform. You know how Instagram or how Facebook used to give you so much exposure, organic exposure, and you don't get that nowadays. You have to do paid, you know, promotions and things like that. Well, LinkedIn is what Facebook was 5 years ago. So like right now, the organic reach is insane. When I post something and I do 2 hashtags, 500 people get to see my stuff. And I'm not popular on LinkedIn. I recently started using it only 4 or 5 months ago, like when it comes to making posts. But my point is that you want to get out there, you know, get a head start, use a platform like that. Okay? Thanks, Vishal. All right, so now I wanna let's see. Okay, now I want to talk about the biggest mistake, okay, that's happening with current filmmakers, a lot of them. And a lot of them are doing it right, and a lot of them are doing it wrong. And the people who are doing it wrong, I was one of them up until, a freaking year ago, year and a half ago. And I'm going to tell you what I'm talking about. I know so many people, that get a full-time job or something like that, and it'll be an entry-level video producer gig or whatever have you, and they are spending all their time just working, whatever they're working, and they're living in a cave. They're not sharing anything. They're keeping everything close to their chest. And what's happening with that is that, you nowadays, like, you have to understand the power of social media. Okay, because if you're working a job, you have a full-time job, you think you're secure, you're not. Something is going to come up, something is going to change, and you get laid off or something like that, and all of a sudden you have no connections, you have no Rolodex, you can't really reach out to, Joey or anyone, because you didn't make those connections while you were working. You were so inactive, you were a ghost. So that's one thing that you got to keep in mind. I was the first one to admit it, that I was the craziest eye roller when it came to social media. Like going live on Instagram, that's not me. Like something like that would have never happened, or even doing this. Like the mentality was completely different, old school, thinking and stuff like that. Social media is to waste time. It's not to like provide value or share something that you have to say that can help many people. And you have to internalize it though. Like, because if your outlook on social media is that it's a bad thing, then basically that means that you're putting out stuff like that, and then sure, don't waste your time, don't do that. Then this advice is not for you. But if you genuinely think that you can make a difference, you can share something, and I don't mean like in a narcissistic way. Like I'm sitting here, you guys are here to like listen to me, blah blah blah, I'm a big deal. That's not what I mean. I mean, you genuinely just share what you do and what worked for you, and you try to be as honest as possible. Like I said, later on, I'm going to tell you what I thought is going to be the greatest hit, and it didn't work out, So I want to share those things too, and keep that in mind. So when you go on social media, be transparent and don't get disheartened. You put something out there, it doesn't get any love, blah blah blah. You always have to start from the start. I mean, I've been shooting my stories since I had like 0 subscribers on YouTube, and now I have 2,100 subscribers in like 3-4 months, and it's amazing to see that growth and how I have changed over time and learned so much from the process. And you can't just wait. You got to get in there and get going. You got to do it today. If I had a YouTube channel 4 years ago, I might have had like 400,000 subscribers by now, but I don't live in regrets. It's great that I'm doing it right now. I'm 33, so by the time I'm 40, I might have 1 million subscribers or more, And so it's never late and never too late, but you gotta take actions and just get started. Like, do it right now. Start posting stuff and start posting. Think about it. What interests you? What made you come to this webinar right now? What am I doing? Try to take, my process or somebody else's process that impacts your life a little bit or a lot, and then reverse engineer it. Like, how can you try to do that, but with your own flair, and share that with people, right? So, that's, that's something that I can give you from that. Okay. Also, like, I mean, and one thing that I can tell you to get started with like social media, because some of you might be like, I don't have a lot of stuff. I don't know what to do. Like, I don't even know what's the first thing, how to begin, promoting myself or just getting these words out there. Let me just show you what you can do. I would say do a 1 minute behind the scenes of anything that you've done. It could be a wedding video that you shot. It could have been a freaking birthday party of your son. Like, whatever it is that you did, it doesn't need to be a project with Honda or Nissan or anything like that. And if you have those, great. Just take a piece of that, chunk of that, talk about the inspiration, why you did it, keep it short, keep it simple, I would start with something like, even like this webinar, like, so if you go look at my latest like Instagram post, it was top 5 mistakes, filmmakers make when making a demo reel. And then that led into come join me and watch this. That was just one way to approach it. I could have also approached it from an authority perspective, where I could have said, I've worked with Toyota, I've worked with Vizio, I've worked with P&G, blah, blah, blah. Listen to me because I have something important to say. That's a different, angle. So there's so many different things that you can do and play around with, but you don't know what works unless you start putting that stuff out there and then analyze the data. And then that's what's going to tell you, what people want to hear, and it not necessarily what people want to hear, that you're going to turn into a people pleaser, but more so than you're going to understand the psychological aspect of it, like what works, what doesn't work. Okay. And I can't tell you enough, no joke. I cannot tell you in the last 3 months since I started my YouTube channel and got heavy on, social media, how much work I've gotten since then. And people just reached out to me from all over the place. You don't even know. I might not get, I might post something on LinkedIn and it gets 500 views, but 2 likes. But then that one person reaches out to me and goes, hey, we're working on this pilot. We don't really like the editor that we're working with. Watch your stuff, love it, blah, blah, blah. Can you come in? Can you help us out? And I went and did it. They loved me. And now they're in we're in the talks of me taking over the entire show, being the lead editor for the entire season. And the icing on top is that they trust me now to a point that they want to give me a hard drive with 6 episodes and see me in 6 months. That kind of job, where I can work remotely. So I did that because they saw me providing some value. A lot of the times, we just put out our demo reel and think that everybody gets it. We assume that these big head honchos, they know what to look for. They get it. They don't get it. I worked on a project where, my client says, hey, I really like this shot. It matches. And it was a stock footage that I was using. And they were like, I really like this shot. It matches with whatever else we shot. So this was really cool. And I'm like, can I tell you a fun fact? And she's like, go ahead. And I'm like, okay, so, we're trying to show that it's a middle of the night. We're in the middle of the ocean. It's a rogue wave that's hitting this freaking ship. And this shot that I got, the stock footage, it's like a 60 frames a second. The ship is just cruising and it's an overcast day. I changed it to day for night, turned it into a freaking night. I added rain, so it's raining. And then I added tons of shake to show that the waves are hitting, the rogue waves are hitting the freaking ship. And then I added lightning in the back. Her mind was just freaking blown away. If I wouldn't have explained that to her, she just wouldn't have known, there's no way, because if I show you that right now, you wouldn't know that happened. But I did that, so sometimes it's not bragging or anything. It's letting other people understand what goes into that and educating them. And then that will give you the leverage, So just another little nugget. Okay, now I just want to go through the top 5 mistakes that filmmakers make with their demo reels. And I want to look at some of these comments too. Thanks, Ricky. What's up, Usman? You're right, Saad. Yep, my wife is right. Dana of all trades, shout out to my wife. She's like, social media is just not media anymore. The key is listen, engage, and build relationships. I couldn't agree more. Seriously. Before I always just cried about hey, look at my content. My brother just rolls a camera, pulls out a freaking phone and just puts the camera to his face and makes a video, and it gets freaking 50 shares and 400, bookmarks and blah, blah, blah. And I'm showing the sophisticated new Nissan project that I worked on, blah, blah, blah. And it's getting 3 likes. What the hell is going on? Well, it's a one-way street. I'm not communicating with people. I'm just basically saying, hey, I'm shoving information down people's throat, and people don't want that. People don't care for it nowadays. They're too smart for that, and I'm just saying, watch this, like this. And my description is 1 line, work with Nissan. It comes off just like being a jerk face, it's not cool. People want to connect. They want to ask questions. You have to give them some context. Everything has to play in context. Before I will make a video on YouTube and then just don't do anything for Instagram, or just whatever is the leftover afterthought would go on Instagram. So of course I wasn't getting any engagement, because you have to respect each platform. and their audience. It's significantly different, right? Facebook owns Instagram. Tell me that these two audience just couldn't be more different, right? Then you look at YouTube, then you look at LinkedIn, Twitter. It's just different audience, So you have to tailor made, messages for each one, So that's important. Like try out, dry out that well before you just think that there's no water left, like really get in there and extract everything out of it, before you just think that, whatever, Okay, let's get into 5 mistakes filmmakers make with their demo reel. And the first thing that I want to say is that I've seen many demo reels where people do that. Like they save best for last. They think that, ending on a high note is the way to go. You must be really narcissistic to think like that people have time that they're going to watch, the first minute and a half, 2 minutes of your demo reel to see the ending. I mean, it's heartbreaking. Just when I go and look at my retention for all the videos that I put out on YouTube, it's like, the good ones are like 60-70%, but they're short. The long ones are like 33%, 38%, 42%. And it's heartbreaking because I'm like, man, like the effort was equal. Like, what I did in the beginning, I did even more later on. What the hell is going on? Like people just stick around, like please, but you can't force people. So, I would say just take a 180, switch it. So that's the first tip, don't save best for last. Like start with a freaking banger so people, their jaw freaking drops and then they watch the whole thing. And then, you spread the, stuff out and just breadcrumbs like throughout the whole thing. And another thing that you need to think about is that a lot of the times, like, people will then do the opposite what I'm recommending, but then it will be the first 15 seconds are going to be freaking banger, and then that's it, the end. Don't do that either. Figure out a way to spread it out evenly, but starting off with the banger is billion times better than save best for last. So that is number 1. Number 2, demo reels that are irrelevant are because there's no context. It's all over the place, okay? I start watching a demo reel and I'm kind of like, I know that it starts with, let's just say, a cinematography reel, but then I'm just watching it and it's like, boom, 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 like, I'm just like, okay, like, what am I really, it's just a hodgepodge montage, and it just goes all over the place, and maybe it's like too cutty, and I can't really concentrate on one thing, You got to think about who you're catering to. If you're a cinematographer, maybe I want to see oneers, I want to see long dragged out shots. Can you hold your, focus? Can you boom, 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 this, like composition, like what's the composition like? What's the lighting like? Like, let me absorb that. Maybe if you're a trailer editor, then you give me like da-da-da-da-da. Like, you can do those and I'll buy it because that's what I'm looking for, and if you cut dramas, then you just got to think about that, maybe like clump your shots and give me a little story, move on to the next one. It's okay. I'm not going to skip, to the next demo reel because now I'm looking for that, so things like that. Number 3, that's another thing that I noticed. The demo reels are either too short or they're too long. So think about this, right? So the best way to understand how long your demo reel should be is to look at the big players. Okay, so let's just say I'm a colorist. I go on Company 3's website and I look at their demo reels. And this is the company that pretty much does every major Hollywood film and Super Bowl commercials and everything. They dominate the color grading space, okay? So now I go on their website and I look at their reel. And their freaking reel is like 2 minutes long. And I'm like, what the hell? Like, I thought I had so much good content that my reel should be 5 minutes long and people should sit through and watch it. Do I have better stuff than Company 3? Spoiler alert, F no, I don't. So why is my reel 5 minutes long and theirs is 2 minutes long? Have some humility, look at it from a broad mindset and analyze it. Like, be realistic about it. Optimism is great, but you still have to be like to stay in the game, you have to be realistic. So go study some of that, analyze it, and then work around that. Sometimes, like I said, it's too short, it's too cutty. Like, you're thinking, you're pandering to like the freaking views and like what people want to see, and you're making a 30-second demo reel. You can't do that. It's just, it shows that you have nothing to show for, and it doesn't matter. Again, you could be shooting like wedding videos and parties, but that's okay. Take pride in it and tell a story, and then don't rush yourself. But at the same time, just know what's too long, what's too short. Do your research. Vimeo is a great place. And then I'm sure like best place would be, let's say your business is making corporate videos. Then I will go to like Intel's website and things like that and watch some stuff from them, or research production companies that do corporate videos and then look at how do they make their demo reels, and then kind of take that, throw your flair on it, your sauce on it, and then go from there. 4, and this is with every demo reel. Okay, and that's very subjective, but not really, and I'll tell you why. Music is either too dull or too jarring, in your face, death metal. That's a no-no. Don't effing do it. Doesn't work. It just doesn't work. I don't care. Unless you're applying for a death metal band and telling them that you want to tour with them and just, cut stuff for them, social media pieces, whatever, then do it. Then that's great. But other times the music is too dull. Freaking, Paul Thomas Anderson. I'm not trying to like shit on the dude, but Phantom Thread could have been a great movie if it was an hour long, hour and 20 minutes long, and it didn't need to be like 5 days long. I mean, come on, dude. Like, stop being pretentious, okay? Don't just drag things, because you think that you have something to say, and then other people's time doesn't matter, and then throw something on there that's so sleepy that it's hard to concentrate and look at. So even, let's just say personally, that's your music, that's okay, but don't think about that. Think about who's going to be watching it on the other end. Think about them. And the biggest indicator what kind of music you need to use is going to be, the driving force is going to be your visuals. So, and the editing style. That's going to tell you right there what kind of music you need, okay? So something to keep in mind. And then the last mistake that filmmakers make is one size fits all reel. And I'm telling you, this is the ultimate worst, and I used to do it. And this gets you nowhere. I mean, it's one of those things that I'll put out a freaking crazy banger reel and like months go by and I'm like, what the hell is going on? I thought after making this reel, my life is going to change. I just tacked on all these new clients and blah, 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 blah. And like, I have impressive like shots in there and all that. Like, what the hell is going on? Why am I not reaching anyone? Because when you make a one-size-fits-all reel, it's really easy to see that. And when you send it out to people, they look at it as a spam. Like you're just spamming everyone because you don't really, and you're kind of scattered. You don't have a direction which you're applying for. You're just like boom, 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 like, anywhere. And whoever calls me is great. You don't even want to get that call. Because if they call you, it's going to be like some crazy bullshit position and they're just going to overwork you. It's going to be a lose-lose situation. You're not going to be able to produce what they want, or you're not going to be happy, and you're not going to be happy with what you're going to be doing because they were just like, they take you as a joke. So thing to just keep in mind. One size fits all, real, no go. That's right, baby. Yes, exactly. Waqas, like, yes, that's the movie I'm talking about with Daniel Day-Lewis. I mean, I love the cast. I like the premise at the end of the movie, but come on, man. This is 2019. Like, let's freaking roll. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if you guys saw Chernobyl on HBO. Just a little side thing. I don't know if you guys seen Chernobyl on HBO, but check it out. Best thing ever happened to humankind, okay? I mean, a 5-part series. It's freaking heavier than the production value is more than freaking Phantom Thread, like a lot of movies, big budget movies or TV shows, and it just gets right in. Like the first 5 minutes you're hooked, and until the last second of episode 5 when the series ends, you're just like, I wish they had 50 episodes, and I will just give up on life and watch this all day long because it's amazing. So that's my point, okay? And it's critically acclaimed, and it's, you know, rotting at 100, and it's 9.9 or 9.7 on IMDb. So it's no joke, but there's different ways to tell a story. But in 2019, chop chop, let's go. That doesn't mean rush, but just do it right, and you can make things compelling and still do them right. Thanks, Shiva. Appreciate it, man. Masterclass. Yes, Ricky. So for those, like, you know, for the courses, I can touch base on that later on. Let's stay on topic, like, you know, and stick with what we got going on right now. But I'm definitely going to talk about my courses at the end of this and just kind of give you guys I actually need your feedback. Okay. I mean, I said it in the last webinar, courses take forever to make. And I need your help. I don't want to make something that's not going to bring any value to you. And, you know, I got a family, I got a son, I got a lot of clients, you know, I'm running a business, so I don't want to waste my time, but more importantly, I don't want to waste your time. I don't want to rob you. I don't want to take your money. So I just want to make sure that I make something that is going to bring some value to you. Okay. We're going to talk about that later. Thanks for bringing it up, Ricky. Okay, guys, now let's get to the meat and the potatoes. Let's get in there. I'm going to show you, a demo reel that I did last year when I started the Post Village, and I'm gonna play it through. So digest it. I'm gonna play it through. It's about 2 minutes long, just giving you a heads up, but just watch it, please, because I want you to participate in this. Like, watch it and then just drop a comment and let me know what's sticking out to you. Like, if you notice something, like, yes, this was good, like, I like how it went from this to that, boom, 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 or whatever, right? So just mention some things if you can in the comments, because that's going to help this conversation even better. Because, you know, the point of this webinar, what I want to turn these things into is a two-way street. You know, I want to keep looking here and just read the messages and then, like, have a dialogue, right? Because that's much more interesting than you guys just looking at a dude talking, you know, for an hour. So let me play this reel for you. And then once I play it all the way through, I'm going to go back and I'm going to start breaking it down and tell you exactly what's going on and how I made it. And it's going to help out a lot. And I'm also going to end that reel with the wins and the losses. Okay, so let's get in there. Thanks, Shiva. Appreciate the vote of confidence. Okay, so I'm going to switch screens. There you go. Let's do this. I'm going to show you this reel. Let me know if you can hear me and if you can hear the sound. I'm going to try to keep it down, and it's coming from my iMac, so it might not sound the best, but whatever. You'll get the idea. It's just music track anyway. So here you go. This is the show reel that I did when I launched my business last year. This is a company reel. So it basically, you know, my company offers editorial and color, so this was for that. So let me play it through. No mercy for you, no worries for you. That Game of Thrones, go Cersei on you. I kept the script, I roll the dice. Don't fall asleep, cause I'm working nights. Hey, you trying to shut me out, it's getting blatant. Hey, I come and see you now, no hesitation. Yeah, I'm really tired of being patient. Hey, if you won't give it to me, I'ma take it. Take it. If you won't give it to me, I'ma take it. Take it. If you won't give it to me, I'ma take it. What if they never told you that the world wasn't round? Would you flip it over? You playing poker with the joker, boy, let's keep it kosher. Yeah, mama, your son finna go supernova. Keep your focus, really, I just might spaz out in this place. Got that war paint on my face. Just been running around in this race, feels like I've been running in place. Now I got hella bling, got hella rings. I'm ready now, sitting every team. Y'all slept on me, that's hella dreams. Don't take time, take everything. You trying to shut me out, it's getting blatant.
I'ma take it. Take it. If you gon' give it to me, I'ma take it. Take it. If you gon' give it to me, I'ma take it. No mercy for you. No worries for you. That Game of Thrones.
All right. So hopefully you guys enjoyed it. I was showing it to my Instagram family too, so I had to move the camera around. All right, so let's do this. So hopefully you liked what you saw, and just drop some comments if you have anything, and then I'm gonna get going. I'm gonna do a breakdown, okay? So, like I said, this is a company reel. Let me just get in there. So this is a company reel, and this is for, you know, editorial and color. These are the services we offer, and the call to action comes in around here, you know, where I'm just like, we do color, right here, like we do color, and then it goes into we do editorial and we do color, right? So here's the thing. This is the thought process. This is how you know, it all started. I started this demo reel with the music track. Music track was the first thing. A lot of the times the catalyst is the music track, because it's going to give you the motivation and you're going to start seeing things. You're going to start building a story in your head. So what I do is, a lot of the times I might be driving to LA, and I'll literally be on Music Bed, just going through different tracks. Music Bed is a website, royalty-free, you know, website where you can sign up, you know, per month, or, you know, purchase a track. So I will literally just be going through their playlist and pick artists that I like, and just going through their playlist while I'm driving, you know, to work, and just analyzing and internalizing, just trying to think like how everything is going to play out. So that's the first thing that I do. I think that's the thing that you should look into doing if you don't already, but hopefully most of you already do that. So start with a music track that you think is going to set the tone, and it's going to be the right for what you're trying to say. I am heavily influenced by hip hop. I get going with it. Like I love that, you know, so that's just my thing. It's true to me. So even if I'm creating a company and it should be more business-like and have like a plain Jane corporate music, that's just not what's going to happen, because I'm the boss of this company. So I drive it. I do it however I see fit. And this is, you know, and nowadays with social media and like just the influencers, like this is what's hot right now, you know, this is cool, this is hip, this is different. So I did that. Now let's go back into let me share the screen and let me tell you how it started. So okay, so now I got the reel, right? Now where do I start? So this is what happened. This was the first section. So now I got the reel. Not only I got the reel, or I got the music. When I got the music, I started listening to it, and you see all these markers. You can see the markers on the music track. All these markers like have different things on them. Some say what it says, like, you know, I should have like a world, I should have this and that, focus on that. Maybe there should be a bird flying when this is happening, you know. And I dropped these cues on my music track to kind of help me line up these sequences, because as you can tell, like there's so many different projects that are used on this. There's so many different projects that I dropped in here. So how do you go from one thing to another? You start off with doing that. Listen to the music, and if it has like lyrics, like try to make sense of it and create a story. At the end of the day, you know, it doesn't matter. It could be a reel. It should still tell a story. It shouldn't be just like a freaking crazy montage that makes no sense, okay? Because it needs to be compelling for somebody to keep watching it. So I started with this sequence right here. That's what I started with, like right here, and I'm going to show you why. Just listen to the words, and you see this marker? That was the first marker ever placed on this music track. All right, let's listen to this and see what's happening and what the words are saying.
That If the world wasn't round, would you flip it over? You playing poker with the joker, boy, let's keep it kosher. Yeah, mama, your son finna go supernova. Keep your focus, really, I just might spaz out in this place. Got that war paint on my...
So just look at it. Supernova, I'm showing the world like boom, boom, boom. This is happening, like, you know, like little beats, like where, you know, I cut her twice to like show that little, you know, when he says, you know, and then we're showing the world, like, you know, you take the world and can you flip it over? And I'm like, you know, boom, doing that, adding some quick little effects in Premiere, not getting too fancy, you know, and like taking this and kind of morphing it into that world, you know, a Speedo product, and goes into that, and then it goes into that, two different, you know, spots. One for Speedo goes into Vizio seamlessly, and then it's Vizio, then it's Turtle Beach, and from Turtle Beach we go back to Vizio's different spot, and then Supernova sequence, boom, 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 and then we go into our PNG Olympics commercial that we did. So, you know, this is what's happening. That was the first bit, and when I placed that in, it kind of just gave me the vibe and the feel for how the whole thing is going to play out, and I build out sequences like that. So, you know, that's one amazing tip that I can tell you if you want to burn through demo reels and just like kick them out really fast but methodically and have them done right. And then besides that, I can show you that throughout this demo reel, there is I'm going to go shot by shot and show you like how there is, you know, what's happening. There is a color coordination. We're kind of gradually going from one color to another, like a color palette to another. Same thing is happening with shots or spots. Like I'm going from one spot and transitioning into the next one gradually, you know, nothing just like hits you in the face. So if you watch this, like, you know, how this is Dodge, and then from Dodge we go to PNG, but we're going to PNG, but look at this red. I'm taking this red and I'm going in there, and then from that red I'm going to Alfa Romeo spot that I did, and it just like bleeds into that so nicely. And then, you know, her red lipstick, right? And then even like just the way she's graded, you know, it's like warm and it goes with this, like the feels. And then we go into that, and then it cuts to this, like, you know, two, you know, different music videos, and we cut to that, and it kind of goes with that. And then we go to just like, this is just a transitional piece, you know, this doesn't really do anything, but this is again from PNG, it's a transitional piece that transition us to this. And then look what he's saying here, and then what I'm placing here.
That Game of Thrones, go Cersei on you.
Like, you know, it's a hero shot, go Cersei on you. Like, we know Cersei's a badass, she's a woman. So like, I'm doing that, I'm thinking about that, I'm building that out. Like, you know, this is whole sequence, I'm building her up, you know, silhouette, boom, boom, boom. And then we're cutting to that. And then we're giving a nice little breather, and then boom, like look at eyes to car's headlights. Nice swipe, light leak, boom, 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 just leads into, like we see some blue and red here, and then it goes into a blue, you know, RAV4 or Rockstar, Indian company that I did a commercial for, Rockstar, and then it goes into that, and then we pull out, like boom, like we see a little brown here, like the dirt here, and I take that and then I boom, open up blue and, you know, dirt, and then we go into the next shot, then we do some transition, and just look at that, you see the blue and the, you know, dirt, and then boom, from there we transition into that, like the skin tone and then the blue shirt. You get what I'm saying? And then like it's fast, it's slow, it's fast, it's slow. You get what I'm saying? But it's everything is tied in together. Like nothing is without any purpose. Every shot is thoughtfully, meticulously placed. Okay, so let's look at this. Blue shirt, you know, and warm asphalt here going into, you know, the fields and the blue Jeep. You get what I'm saying? Another blue Jeep. You know, look at the dude's shirt, goes into boom, boom, two quick shots. Changing the gear, boom, jumping down, long jump, and then whew, like as he's plowing that, you know, sand into our face, and the camera goes into a snow, and then boom, do this, do that. So now you're getting the idea. And then like look at the sequences where there's going to be a build up. I'm actually literally doing a build up by showing like the car just picking up, and it's about to go down, and boom, it goes down. Okay, so then now take a listen to this section.
Really tired of being patient. Hey, if you won't give it to me, I'ma take it. Take it.
You get what I'm saying? So did you see how I build that out? like took that and just ran with it. And so many different things are happening, right? Different spots and different everything. So that's what I mean. And then like, even just look at this. Like we see this creepy dude, you know, jarring image, and then it goes from her flipping, like he's flipped over, and then she is flipping over. She puts the foot down, and the girl is running with shot of the feet, and boom, boom. And when you watch this play out, like it just feels like, wow, like what is happening? Like, is he using some sort of like, you know, transition effects or presets or things like that? No, this is just all in there. Live. So that's what's happening here, right? Okay, I just want to see the broadcast is going. Everything is looking good. Dum, dum, boom, boom, boom. Okay. All right, going back in there. And guys, just, you know, don't be shy. Just write something out. Like if you guys are here and like, you know, if you guys are watching the stream, just let me know what's happening. Like if everything is going good, and then we'll just keep moving on. Okay, so now moving on to this, like, you know, we go from here to the grass, boom, boom, like a little out of focus. We quick, like, look at this, feet, jump, as his foot comes down, he kicks, she kicks, boom, boom, 2 shots, and as soon as the ball goes, look at this, like I'm taking this momentum and leading it into the car, like almost like she kicked that car, like boom, right? So when it plays out, it's going to be like, right? So I mean, that's what I'm talking about. I'm thinking about these things. They're completely different things. This is RAV4 for Toyota, you know, a spot that I did for Toyota. This is PNG. So I mean, boom, she kicks it. So these two things couldn't be more different, right? But I put them together. I figure out a way for it to go seamlessly. And then dirt. We see all this dirt. And then look at, I pull you up right here. And then this little beat right here, just look at the music beat and how I'm using it. Now, I don't overuse these cues, okay? Because I mean, if you just do 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4, if you just go beat, it's kind of stale, it's kind of lame, it's kind of young, like you're a new editor. So don't do that, but then know when to use it. You know, when it's gonna have the most impact. So just watch this through. Like a little hey, you know, and like boom, like just like this debris, like boom, because we saw this car picking up pace. So like boom, dirt, and then we just go to Chevrolet. So this is for Chevy. This is a Silverado Chevy commercial. We just like transition from Toyota RAV4, boom, into Chevy. So, and then again, like boom, 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 and then as soon as that happened, we go in here, and now look at that. So this is Silverado. Cut to that so that you see the little dirt speck on the right hand side right here. I take that and I transition into a Honda spot that I did. So we go from boom to pinata exploding, hold it, and then red. So I transition into Mazda. Here's a Mazda spot I did. So we just go into Mazda. So let me play this through so you can see it. Take it. Get what I'm saying? So this is like, I mean, hopefully this is doing what I hope it's doing. You know, I've never done a breakdown like that with anyone, but like when I'm cutting it, this is the dialogue that I'm having with myself. So hopefully it's coming out, it's translating into what I wanted to do. So going into that, we go into Mazda, where like the car is driving and it's kind of swerving. So then the dude is swerving, and then we just boom, the waves take over the shot, and now all of a sudden we're underwater. Waves come over, we're underwater. Get what I'm saying? Look at this, okay? If you're not gonna give it to me, I'm gonna take it. He's gonna take it. He's taking it. You get what I'm saying? Like, you know, you think it's literal? It's not literal. It's cool because when you're listening to this, when you're watching this, I mean, it's just a one big story. So you're just following the story, and these things are happening, and they just come off cool, you know? So he's going to take it, and he takes it, and then it just goes into that, and then this is going to transform into a, you know, universe or Earth, and then that's going to go into that, and then we showed you the supernova sequence. And just look at the color transitions, right? So I go from this to Speedo, so Mazda to Speedo, Speedo to Vizio, Vizio to Turtle Beach, Okay. Boom, blue, 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 you know, and Turtle Beach. Duh. Right there. You know, we see the globe, we see the face, you know, in a similar position. So the transition is very smooth. And then right there, we go back into PNG spots. We go into a music video, running, music video. And it's kind of desaturated bleach bypass look. So like, what can we do with that? Like, we are just going to go into something crazy stylized. We go into that. He's running. He's putting his car in a freaking eighth gear. We're going into like, boom, let's go fast. He's running fast, you know, transition into something like this, black and white. I mean, this is the best shot that I can find, you know, to transition into black and white, because everything else is like graded nicely and saturated, things like that. Boom. And you know, it's like odometer, it's like car is picking up. So it will be nice to see a car driving by, see all these shots, and then going back to now we're into Alfa Romeo, right? So I mean, you saw this shot was so nice, the movement, and then it kind of mimics that here, and we see the red button in the middle, we see the red car, we see more of that car. Behind the bushes, we transition into Mazda. From Mazda, we pull back, and then, you know, keep going with that. Boom, boom, boom. Colors, just keep an eye on the colors and how I'm transitioning. So this is PNG, this is Mazda. And then he looks up. He looks up and he's looking at that. The car is doing its thing. He is looking up, and then I do the shot. In the actual cut, these shots are reversed, but just look at what's happening.
Really tired of being patient. Yeah, if you won't give it to me, I'ma take it.
Okay, and everything is moving in the same direction, and then you hear the bird, you see the bird flies by, you see the clouds moving in that direction, you see the guy on a mountain just like enjoying the scene, and then cut to showing the scene like we're on, like, you know, point of view, eye level. And then look at that. So this is sunset. You can obviously see in the shot, like, you know, sun is going down, moon came up, and then as the moon is coming up, flowers blooming. And then you get what I'm saying? Like, are you following the pattern here? What's happening? Like, not just the colors, but the whole story and the everything is different. This is a Toyota Tundra commercial, and we're getting back into Vizio, and we're picking different spots from Vizio. You know, this is not just a one string out, like, you know, two different shots from two different sequences. And then, like, listen to what he's saying and what she's doing. And then what the guy is, you know, he's, hey, I'm watching you, you know, sort of thing. So just watch this. You get what I'm saying? If you don't give it to me, I'm gonna take it. He takes it, she takes it, and he's like, hey, I'm watching you, I know what you did. He's laughing, that's funny, you know. And then everybody's laughing, everybody's having a good time, because this is the end of the reel. So I want to have that human thing, right? So in the beginning I showed cars, this and that. I'm ending it on like, wow, this was a one fun experience, you know, and everybody's having the good old time, you know, laughing, dancing, singing, boom, 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 like feeling himself, going into this is what we do. And then I ended it with this, and I'll tell you why. Soccer is my favorite sport. Like, this is just my thing. I love it to death. So I just had to end it on something that is just near dear to my heart. So that's just, you know, that was the direction on this little bit. And it's a cool couple of shots.
Take it. If you won't give it to me, I'ma take it.
And then at the end, we build authority by showing all the brands and everyone that I work with, companies, and then it goes into my logo that was small, and then boom, it takes over the world. The post village will rule them all. So that is the breakdown on that. I'm gonna switch the cameras a little bit so you can see my face and I can tell you, interact with you like a human. So let me know in the comments, like, what do you guys think? If you guys found this helpful, because I mean that's something that I'm experimenting with. If you guys found this helpful, I'm gonna start doing that more and more. Not only just with the editorial and the things that I added, but I'm also gonna transition that into color and do color breakdowns like this. And I personally think if someone did that for me, it would have made all the difference in the world. You know, I mean, I learned so much with trial and error because, you know, a lot of the content out there is just teaching you how to. It's a lot of how to. So, you know, what do you do? Like, just let me know if you've ever seen anything like this. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, it's like, this is what I think needs to get out more. You know, like seeing a cool, you know, timeline Tuesday, seeing a cool timeline and not having some context behind it, or people just not willingly sharing that stuff is not doing anyone any good, you know? I mean, they're just, it's at that point, they're just flexing. Good for them. But, you know, that has nothing to do with me. So I feel like this is hopefully helpful. And if it is, I'm going to start doing a lot more of that. Okay, so let's see where we're at. Okay, so now, so this reel, you saw this reel and you know how everything worked in here and how thoughtful it was and all that good stuff, right? So this is all great. So the win that came out of it is that I landed, I was hired to do a 2019 reel for Ultima. I did a sizzle for Nissan Altima because of that. So Nissan reached out and I did that for them, which was epic. So that was a win. That was a big win. They saw that, it was cool, and then that reel was something similar to that, but you know, obviously like all Nissan. And then I'm gonna show you right now. So that's that Nissan job that I did, right? So I mean, but it's like a lot more involved, a lot more like, you know, a lot of sound design and things like that, different shots, you know, graphics and all that stuff to kind of sell that. So I mean, I don't know if you just drop a comment to let me know if you want me to play this through. If not, no big deal. I can, you know, do a quick breakdown or whatnot of this too. But, you know, so this was something that I did for Nissan. So that's a good thing that came out of it. Ended up doing a bunch of other things for them because of it. Ended up doing a bunch of different things for them because of it, like did some GTR work, like Nismo, the new GTR that came out recently, so did a lot of promotional stuff for that. So I mean, that's what happened from that company reel that I just showed you. Now, the L that I took from that reel and the mistake that I don't want you to make, because just learn from my experience, is that yes, it was a really cool reel, right? It's amazing. It's great. Like all the things, the behind the scenes that I told you, like, you know, like the thought process, this and that. It was wonderful. The problem was that it doesn't have a direct message. Okay. And there's some things that I did really, really wrong with that I see today. And I go, what the hell was I thinking? And what I mean by that is that why the hell I'm saying what I do at the end? Editorial and color. What the hell was that about? Why am I establishing my authority at the end? Because once again, I'm preaching to you that don't do that. Put your best stuff first, you know, establish your authority first, but I did the opposite, and that's why I'm telling you that, because I learned from it. So Nissan job was amazing, and then crickets after that. Like nothing really came out of it. Referrals and like how I get my business, but not through a demo reel, because it was irrelevant and it was just, there was no direction, you know? It's a cool piece, okay, good, but that's the end of it. You know, it doesn't really provide some value to my client or somebody who's gonna hire me to go, oh wow, okay, I see. Okay, you also do this, you also do that. Oh, this is how they do it. That's exactly what we were looking for, done. You kind of have to answer their questions and anticipate their needs. I did not do that. So as cool as that reel was, that's one of those things that don't do it, because it is sort of tiny bit like one size fits all reel. Okay, so that's what I'm gonna say about that. Let's see. Okay, so this is the thing, right? I mean, So what I'm saying instead, so I just told you that, hey, don't do that. So then what do you do instead? And this is what you do instead. You create a reel package, okay? And I swear to you, I just started doing it recently, like the beginning of this year, and it changes everything. It changed my entire process and how many leads I'm getting and how it's working. It's like a freaking light bulb, okay? Reel package is basically repurposing your reels, like repurposing your stuff. So say you have tons of car stuff, okay? Don't just create a overall reel that has corporate, like one corporate spot, like, I don't know, 2 promo videos and then 6 car pieces. That kind of offsets it. It just kind of, it's kind of off-putting, because then when I'm watching it, I'm like, car. Whoa, what the hell was this about? What is this? Like, all of a sudden I see something corporate and I'm like, well, that's kind of weird, So make a dedicated reel. Make an automotive reel. It doesn't take that much. I'm going to show you what you need to do. Start with the longest form reel. So what I would say is that what I did, a couple of weeks ago or a month ago, is that I started with the company reel, because that was going to include most of it, So I started with that. So I get familiar with all the footage and what I have and started dropping markers and all that. But I had a long-term goal. I went in with the plan. I had a reel package set up that, hey, I need to apply for automotive. I need to apply automotive for editorial. So I'm going to hit up all these X, Y, and Z companies with that reel. I'm going to hit up all small businesses with corporate reel. That's going to have Intel and, Queen Mary and a couple of other like clients, big clients that I work with, and small. And that's going to target that. I have a fitness reel that's going to be basically just hitting up like, all these like fitness, gyms that are opening up every day, because everybody's so health conscious. So think about that. I maximized it. I only had done a couple of gigs, but now I'm looking at it and I'm like, that's substantial. I can put together a 45-second thing that I can market on Instagram, Facebook, because that's where these guys live anyway. They don't go to Vimeo to look at the reel. And the traditional way of sending them an email is going to end up in a spam anyways. So that's the way to do it. So I'm creating that reel. Then another biggest thing that you need to do is that you have to create, if you're an editor, you need to create a reel teaser, which is going to be a minute and a half long reel that's going to, basically show your body of work. And then you're going to make an extended reel, which is going to be all your projects. It could be a 25-minute long reel. I'm going to show you, I'm not going to show you the whole thing, but I'm just going to skim through to tell you what I mean by that. It's basically my top 16 best projects put together, and they're about a minute and a half, 2 minutes long. You don't have to put the entire show. Let's just say, and even then, you have to get granular. So let's just say I actually just applied and got a gig because of it. I put together a reel for pilot episodes, okay? Because it's a huge thing. People who are editors out there, when you work on a show, it's much easier to just jump on episode 1 of season 3. The formula is already there. You just gotta plug and play. You gotta plug the pieces and move them around, and you go from there. But when you are doing a pilot, you are as almost playing as a floor director. You're pretty much leading the charge, creating a structure, like different montages. It's going to have this sequence, that sequence. It's going to have this many acts, like all that stuff, and that's a huge deal. So I created a reel specifically for that. I had a couple of shows. I started with show openers, and then I just did some excerpts. Excerpts are like little scenes from a whole show. So I just added some excerpts, like some pieces, like some scenes that were like really well put together. I put that in a pilot reel and sent it out. Got a job right away, and just did a gig for them. And obviously everything is freelance. Did a gig with them, and that's the same company that wants to hire me to take on the entire show and work remotely. So this is sort of like a dream come true, amazing situation, and an ideal situation. This might not happen to everyone, but I'm just telling you how effective that was. And a lot of you might not have thought of using reels like that. But again, it's all about context is king. If it fits, within that context, then it's great. Do it, okay? And then the last thing for the reel package, so the first thing is teasers, right? To just get their attention. The second thing, if you got their attention, they're going to click on the extended versions. They're going to watch your body of work, scroll through, things like that. But that's sort of like a linear fashion, right? Because a 25-minute reel and I open it in QuickTime or whatever, I'm scrolling through, like I still have to do some work. 3, you can do something that Vimeo lets you do, which is showcase links. And I'm going to show you that right here. Practical information that you can take and use. So let's go to Vimeo and just look at that, okay? Showcases right here. So look at how, actually, let me change the screen so you can see it. Right here. So you go to Vimeo and you click on showcases and just look at how you can break them down however you want. Click on showcase and just give it a name and just drop stuff in there. But this is what I do. I will, if I apply for an editing job, I will give them a link to my teaser. I'm going to give them a link to my extended reel, and then I'm going to give them a link to my showcase. And then that way, actually, let me do it a different way so you guys can see. And then I'm going to give them a link to my showcase, and then they get to see it like this. So like, look how cool that is, right? Because now they can just go through. This is your portfolio, creme of the creme, your best work. They can go through and go, oh, this looks cool. Let me check this out. Boom. You got that job. This looks really cool. Let me check it out. Boom. You got a job. You know what I mean? So it's like you're helping. You got to help them out as much as possible, because if there is one thing that I can tell you, that is, don't give them the benefit of the doubt. Just don't do it. The benefit of the doubt thing does not work. And I'm telling you, it's just, the assumptions are the worst thing that you can, do when it comes to sending out demo reels and, waiting to hear back from them. Don't assume anything. Just spell it out. Spell it out, regardless of like if you're applying to a young kid on Instagram who doesn't know a first thing about video, or you're applying at a huge behemoth like company and you think that they know everything. Still spell it out. So that was the reel package. So now I'm just gonna I'm not gonna show you all the breakdowns, but I'm just gonna show you what I mean by that. So let's open up Resolve, and so like I said, so I created a color reel, and I'm gonna fly through it and kind of show you what is happening here, right? So this is what's happening here. I created a color reel, and in my color reel, look at the first shots are all Visio, and then I ended it with the banner, like what it is. It's a spot for Visio. Then I go into PNG, the second spot, and then just look what's happening. Then it's all PNG. It's all PNG, like best shots from PNG. And then I go into RAM, and it's all the shots from RAM. And then I go into Speedo, all the shots from Speedo. Then I go into Rockstar, all the shots from Rockstar. And then I go into Turtle Beach, boom, boom, boom. So the point being, right, Visio, 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 good times. So actually, I'm so sorry. I didn't change the screen, so you guys weren't even looking at it. So I'm just going to go through really fast so you guys can see it. Sorry about that. So it starts off with Visio. Basically what I'm saying is that you got to clump your shots together, whether it's a color reel or editorial, okay? And how that helps is that it gives context to your viewer, because he gets to see that, okay, you can hold your own when it comes to grading, because everything matches, everything is in the same realm, and that's the most important thing when you work on something. When Mazda hires you, they want a certain look and they have a certain color palette, and you got to stick to it. And you can't do that if I put this shot next to this shot. Like, it just doesn't work like that. It looks cool, but it doesn't really do anything. So I do this. Like, this is, RAM. That was a dot job. And like, look, it kind of fits in this world. Then we go into Speedo and teal and orange sort of thing, and it fits in this world. And then I go into Rockstar, and, boom, like that's pretty stylized and it fits in that world. And then I go to Turtle Beach, and that's that. super poppy and colorful, and then I show you how I can grade a black and white interview, make it look super cool, and then this is for Genesis, and then I go into Jaguar, and then I show you all that, and it fits in that world, like the contrast and everything. You can just watch it, right? And then look at this, like super heavy teal and orange sort of look for Mazda, and it all fits together. So when I give them, even when we come out of the car, or come out of like the surfing, scene, we go into that and it all fits together. So that's what I mean. And then I'm ending it with like a little boom, like this was for Mazda, spell it out. That's what I'm trying to say. And it's just really quick. It's for 4 seconds. It goes away. And now I'm like showing Vizio, and I show everything from Vizio, and it's a bunch of different spots for Vizio. It's not just one spot, but again, it's Vizio and it fits in the context. So I'm showing it. And then I moved to Silverado, and that's how I graded Silverado. So basically what I'm saying is that it's give them a snapshot, not the whole thing, in like a minute. So this was like about 1:30, this reel, or 1:40. And it's basically just giving them little snippets. Like, this is my Vizio, work for Vizio. This is my work for RAM. This is my work for PNG. This is my work for Honda. Like, you're just giving them little snippets, but they get to see it, that holy shit, like there's all these different color palettes and all these different styles that he's playing with, and he can hold it, because you're demonstrating like from one shot, interior to exterior and this and that, and like you can show it, all of that, in like quick 3, 4, 5 shots. Doesn't need to be choppy. This reel is, by the way, on on my Instagram and Vimeo, so you can see the whole thing for yourself when you get a chance. And then I'm going to show you what I would recommend for an editing reel. So let me open up this guy. Got something really crazy in my eyes. Okay. So now for the editing reel, here's a couple of things that I would recommend. Highly, highly recommend, and hopefully you guys will find it helpful. Let's go look at the editing reel. Okay. So this is my editorial teaser. Okay, this is about, how long is it? It's about a minute long, okay? Just 1 minute. And this is what's happening with this. I'm starting off by letting them know who I am, what I do, okay? So that's my name. I'm an editor. I'm Local 700, so I'm part of the guild, like MPAG, Motion Pictures Editors Guild. And, boom, here's that. And I do commercials and brand films. That's it. I do commercials and brand films. Can I do a short film? Can I do a long form? Of course I can. Let's not confuse people, because I spent a decade doing this stuff and I'm great at it, and there is enough to do these 2 categories for the rest of my life, for 7 lifetimes. So stick with it. Like, build your brand. This is how you build your brand. I'm saying commercials and brand films. Done. This is what I do. This is what I use. And I can back it up. I am an advanced user in Avid, Premiere, DaVinci Resolve, Final Cut 10. You pick a software and we'll go from there. No big deal. And then as soon as I get in there, look what I'm doing. Again, once we're going to start it off, we're going to go project by project. So boom, this is a couple of shots. The stuff I did with Acura, done. The stuff I did with Intel, done. The stuff I did with Motor Trend and worked on bunch of their shows. I mean, they were on Netflix, Amazon, and all that, and on their on-demand channel. I'm building that authority, right off the bat. Boom, 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 boom. Plugs of the shows. I don't need to show shots of the shows because not everybody will know. I know for a fact that you guys probably never even heard of them. And each of these shows have hundreds of millions of views on YouTube. And now they live on Netflix and all that stuff. Okay? And then you go into that. Here's my work for Nissan. Did some stuff for Nismo. Here's my work for Toyota. Let's go places. Here's my work for Nissan Altima. Here's my work for Mazda. This is who I am. Email me. Thank you very much. You get what I'm saying? So this is how you want to break it down. Look at it as like a business proposal. Like, look at it as your pitch. How do you want to present yourself? What do you think will make the most sense? And keep it simple. Like a lot of times people spend so much time on reels because they don't know where to go, what to do. And if you just keep it simple, what I just showed you, like, look how easy that is. Don't you think you can do it right now, today? Like, it doesn't matter. You can have like some short films. You can have some student projects, whatever it is. Pick out the best 3 or 4 projects, break them down into little chunks, story, and then plug them in and drop some music, and you're done. Your reel is done. Just make sure you have a good title card, intro title card that like is true to who you are. Just stay true to who you are. Don't fuck the, fake it till you make it. Don't do that. It's garbage. Like, just own what you're doing. I work with a dude who shot weddings and made $20,000 a wedding and shot Britney Spears' wedding in Hollywood. I mean, this dude was banking. Sony was hiring him as an ambassador when FS7 first came out. They gave him 2 FS7s to keep and $10,000 to shoot a wedding. And this dude was crying because he was like, they're paying me pennies. And at the time, the camera was $10,000. So they gave him 2 cameras, 20 grand, and 10,000 to shoot a wedding. So he made 30 grand and he was crying that he wasn't making enough. So just go figure how much he was making. And he's booked a year at a time. My point is, freaking own it. Just whatever it is, own it, and then just run with it. And you will see all of a sudden your acceptance rate is gonna freaking skyrocket. I promise you, because I know it. I've done it, I experimented with it, and I know it for a fact. Okay, so let's see. All right, so those were some of my suggestions about the reel packages. And then, okay, so let me show you really quick. I'm gonna show you really fast my extended reels just to kind of give you an idea, okay? So this is my extended reel, and this reel is basically, look at how long it is, 25 minutes. This reel is basically everything. So this is commercial work, automotive, corporate, all of that. This is just one long extended reel, okay? And this is gonna have those that I said, excerpts, like little pieces from the projects, intro sequences, things like that. So this is sort of like the Bible of my career, editorial, and this is just editorial, I'm sorry, this is not color, so this is just editorial. And then I end them with like, title cards to just show which companies I work with and things like that. And then obviously same slates, beginning and intro. And they're just all linear. It's all linear. Like I start off with short videos, but like, if it's Nissan, stick with Nissan, boom, boom, boom. Couple of Nissan products, go into Toyota. Couple of Toyota products, go into Honda. Couple of Honda products, and then build from there. You know what I mean? Don't think it's going to get stale, because if somebody is looking to hire you, they're going to spend more than 5 seconds to like really dig in and see who they're going to be getting. And then, like I was talking about breaking it down, then I have like the, editing automotive reel. So now this is an automotive reel, and this is also extended. It's about 20 minutes long, but this is all things automotive as an editor. So just look how granular I'm getting. I do color, but I'm going to do a different reel for that. So this is editing, this is automotive reel, and then I have a teaser of the automotive reel. You understand what I'm saying? Build packages and you're gonna freaking love me forever. So have a teaser. Let's just say you shoot wedding videos, a wedding video teaser reel, a wedding video extended reel with excerpts and things like that, and a Vimeo showcase of the best ones. Curate your best weddings and put them in order with the best thumbnails, and send these 3 links. And if you don't get a job the next day, sue me. Okay. Let me see what else. Okay, so do's and don'ts when applying for a job. So guys, I gotta tell you, I mean, when you are applying for a job, so now you got your reel, right? You got your reel. What do you do with it? Where do you go to find work? And I'm gonna start with rookies, people who are just starting out, to kind of people who've been doing it for a while, okay? So people who are just starting out, Instagram, okay? I'm telling you, Instagram and other social media outlets, start hitting up people. Okay, go look at somebody who's in your area, because you can even do a place search. So do a place search and look for cool filmmakers near you that are making content, and start off with like somebody who's doing promo videos, things like that, and hit them up and just be like, hey, I'm gonna tag along. I'm interested in job shadowing. I'm gonna help you out, carry your cases, whatever, but don't sell yourself that short, but just basically say, I have value to offer. Because after the whole PA situation, you move to California, you work in Hollywood making $100, $150 a day for 17 years to hope that one day you're going to do something, and then you hear other people like, oh, this guy started as a PA and now he's Roger Deakins, which he didn't, but I'm just saying. After that's 1 in a freaking 10 trillion. And don't leave your luck and your fate in somebody else's hand. Just take control of that, okay? So for the newbies, go on Instagram, search, place search or whatever around your area, reach out to those people and just DM. I swear to God, it works. Just DM them and say, I'm going to do it for free. I'm going to do it for $50. I just want to come out. Start with free, because or else you're not going to hear back. If you're nobody and if you don't have a lot of work on there to show and impress them, they're not gonna bother. They're not gonna waste their time. So start with like, I got something to offer, I got some value to offer, but just be humble, have humility. When you say I have something to offer, don't come off cocky. Say that, hey, I need you more than you need me, in these words, seriously, because this thing works all the time. Say, I need you more than you need me, but I promise you I can bring some value. I'm passionate. I'm compassionate about it. I have a lot of compassion about this, and I can bring something to the table. And you'll be amazed, because all you need to get going is a couple of good projects on your reel, a couple of good projects to get going. And then the reel package that I told you about, you put those things together. I mean, you can do all of this in 1 month. If you go online right now and start hitting up 20 people a day on Instagram or LinkedIn, whatever, 20 people a day, I know for a freaking fact, even if you have jack shit on your reel, even if you don't even have a single video, whatever, if you start doing it and if you come off authentic and tell them, your trajectory and where you want to be and what you want to do and how passionate you are about this, somebody's going to give you a shot. You go work with them, 1 gig, and you just kill it. They're going to call you back. You work on something else with them, and boom. Next thing you know, in 1 month, you have like 4 different projects, that are different enough to cut it into a reel, and then you're off to the races and do exactly what I said, the reel package. Then you start building reel packages and the rest is history. Your career just took off. And people who've been doing it for a while, like even myself, again, similar thing applies to you, but for us, a lot of it is like going through preparing all our content, get our reel package ready and to go, and then do the same thing but on a bigger scale. So I will go on LinkedIn and I have a list broken down into 3 different tiers. So tier 1 companies, tier 2 companies, tier 3 companies, and I start hitting them up. I don't spam anyone. I go and I learn about each company, because this is important. I'm not just hitting up some randos, okay? So this is a meticulous work. I'm not kidding. Like sometimes that is my task for the day. And it's worth every penny, because sometimes it'll turn into a $35,000 project in a month, which I don't even have to do all the way. I can outsource and then just kind of monitor it and just, kind of play the quarterback. So you'll be amazed what if 8 hours can earn you $35K, I think it's worth it, right? So what I'm saying is that even people who are pros, go on LinkedIn, go on Instagram, reach out to these people, offer them something. I mean, I will even go as far as, offering people free color sessions. Hey, I'm going to go find some DP who's really cool and doing kick-ass stuff in Germany, and I want to connect with them. And, I can reach out to him, and let's say that our body of work is kind of similar. He does badass DP work. I do kick-ass like color work. I reach out to him and I said, bro, I want to collab. Do you have something? If you have something, throw it my way. I'll do it for free. I don't care. I just want to get more shit on my reel. And then I do it for him. It's a win-win. I learn a lot from that. I build that. More importantly, I build that relationship overseas. Now I got a contact there, and you cannot believe. Let me just say this. Since 2012, there's been very few times when I had to go out to get a job, like a cold call sort of situation. I put out my work and I share the stuff that I'm sharing with you, and I get contacted a lot of the times. Or crazy amount of 80+% of my work comes from referrals. Okay? So it's going back to that honesty thing. Like if you're doing a kick-ass job, you're gonna get a call and you're gonna land that job. But when that happens, you need to be prepared. That's why we're doing this webinar. You know, you need to have that reel to land you that job, because that's the last bit. That's the missing piece. It can't be just it's really hard. Like you really need to have a crazy spine to like get a job without a reel or a good reel. But even if you're 25% in the door and you have a kick-ass like reel package that I'm sharing with you, you got that job. And then I know for a fact once you're in there, you're gonna make it work, and then you're gonna be their go-to person. So that's what I would say to people, you know, the do's and the don'ts. And the don'ts, the biggest don't is, don't think that you got some magic, you got a good thing going on, and you got to hold on to it, and you don't want to share it, and the only plain Jane vanilla crap you want to share on Instagram or whatever is just a aftermath, the picture of like your great color or whatever, without anything, without any context. Nobody gives a shit, because you're not better than Tom Poole, okay? You're not better than those big dogs out there, and even they have humility, and they're connecting with people because they're learning that that's just the name of the game nowadays, okay? So get a head start, get on it. I swear to God, it really pays dividend to like just go in there, be honest, be active on social media, and do it with some value and and have some honesty, and have a giving attitude. Give more and you will receive. Like shit will come back. Like all the love that I get from you guys. I mean, there's 16 people still watching this, you know, like I've been going on for almost an hour, maybe a little over an hour. Yeah. I mean, I've been going on for an hour and a half, and you guys are still there with me. I mean, this makes me want to freaking cry. This is insane. I love you guys. So this is my point. Okay? If you have something valuable to share, people are going to stick around and they're going to be in your corner. So take pride in that and give. Guys, now I'm going to give you a gold mine. Now I want to share that cutting edge reel that I was talking about, my 2019 company reel that I just put out. That's been doing insane, and it has already landed me a couple of gigs, and I'm coloring something next week for Genesis, and it all happened because of this, and I'm going to show you what I did in that, and I'm going to do a quick breakdown. And I know we've been going on for crazy long, but this is going to be worth your while. So let me show you that reel. Okay, so I'm going to play it through. It's not that long. And then I'm going to take you through what's happening here. And I promise you this will change your life, because there is so much great stuff in here. So let's watch it through. right, so as you can see, there's a lot of exciting things going on in this reel. Like the DNA is there, meaning like I'm still doing the thing like where I'm blending in my shots, going from one sequence to another, but so much more is happening. From my failure last year with the Post Village reel, I've learned so much that all those things are taken care of. And I'm just going to give you a super, super macro overview of what I'm talking about. So let's get back in there and let me show you what I mean. So freaking 5 seconds. So I start off with a couple of cool shots to get people in, and once I draw their attention, like boom, 6 seconds in, we're learning about what this company does, editorial and finishing. Then we just do a one quick shot of like the breakdown of the editorial, one shot of the color and like how deep we get, one breakdown of the color, and then right there we start establishing authority by testimonials. Head of sales, big dude, big, VC, giving my company a testimonial, and then went back, showed a couple of shots, and then we go right back, work with some of the top agencies in the business, and then we go right in there. Saatchi and Saatchi, I mean, you can look up these companies and see how huge they are. They handle all Acura stuff, and Motor Trend does everything. And then we go into RPA that does all Honda stuff, and then Designery that does a lot of Nissan and Intel and all those big companies out there. And then we go, so authority, we're showing how legit we are, we're showing cool, backing it up with cool imagery. We go back into our testimonial, group creative director from Discovery, talking good talk about our company. Then we go back into some cool visuals, and then there, clients, and then we build that up. We're building it up halfway through. So at the threshold, we're already building up our authority so much, but it's not in your face. It's all flowing through. Then I go back with more testimonials. Big Block is a huge company. My friend, an editor left a testimonial for me. So I'm using that for my company. And then going back, and now here is something very different that no one does. And this is what something that actually got me my recent gig, and which was that they were like, we always knew that you said you run a virtual post house. We didn't know what the hell that meant. So here I'm taking a time in a very cool way, showing you exactly what's happening and breaking it down, that process for you visually, because I can give you a fine print that's 11, 12 pages long, like a white paper, and you'll never read it. But when you see this, you digest it, you see what's really happening. So we do color grading sessions through TeamViewer live, and then we do Frame.io, which is the traditional remote review tool, that they can go and leave comments, and then I can just come in and see it in my editor and then fix those comments. Then I go back to a testimonial, and then we wrap it up by call to action, wherever you are, we come to you, you come to us, work remotely, you can expect this, just hone in that, that you're going to provide the best service, best value that they can get. And, one more testimonial, and then it goes right into let's connect, another call to action to find out what you need, and just keep it simple and close it off. So, that's what I mean, by this is the real, guys. You guys want to take that template. It's on my Instagram. Go on there. Handle is the Cosman, and look this up. And I sort of got probably download it and just go through it, kind of study it, how I'm placing all these things, because I'm telling you, this is over a decade, like 12, 13 years of experience, and just a lot of critical thinking, running my own shop and being so profitable. But like, how do you take it to the next level? This is the sauce. This is the sauce. It's working magically. Like, it's just a freaking miracle. And I want to build on that. And I want to, my reels that I showed you, I created those after this one, the editorial reels and the package ones. And that's where the DNA came from this, like, in those reels. That's why they each sequence has a book ending, and then it leads into the next one, and then it leads into the next one, and things like that. But this was for my company, so I built it like that. But I will highly recommend, if you're super new and if you want to just, penetrate through that market and start getting some work, you actually can take this reel and have this be the infrastructure. And have this be the infrastructure and build on this sort of timeline and have testimonials, and it doesn't matter, once again, like depending on like who you work with or whatever, just find somebody who can drop a line for you and use it. It could be a buddy who is a producer on a project that said something great for you, but just be true, don't make stuff up. You have to be honest, and then just drop those things in, nuggets in, and build authority in the start, whoever you work with, whatever it is, and kind of follow this pattern and let me know what you think. But this is working out like a freaking charm for me so far. Let me see what else, if there's anything else that I want to cover. So that's basically pretty much it, guys. And again, just make sure to check out my Instagram, because I'm telling you, there's a lot of value that's being provided there. I do a lot of like IG stories too, where I will just like share one experience from a day, like a job that I did for Honda or something like that, and what was the X, Y, and Z, and I'll share that with you. And now I know we've been going on forever, guys. Please, if there are any questions, drop your questions in. I want to do a quick Q&A, and I'm sorry it went on for this long. I want to start shortening it to like 30 or 45 minutes, but then open up the Q&A floor, so we can get some questions and I can just answer some stuff for you. So if you have anything, write it in here, and I'm going to go through some of these messages right now, guys. Also, I'm going to be dropping a in the description for the YouTube video, once it goes up, this live webinar, I'm going to drop a link for a LUT pack. It's going to have a teal and orange LUT, a black and white LUT, and it's going to have a bleach bypass LUT. Like, those are created by me, and they're amazing LUTs. I'm going to drop them in here so you can grab them. Okay, so once this goes live, the link is going to be in there, because I appreciate you and I thank you for sticking around. All right, so let me see. You're not showing the second screen. Yeah, Ricky, I'm sorry, man. One-man show, just doing my best. First time using OBS, so there was some of those hiccups, but thank you for mentioning it. Rob, to answer your question, if these are cold calling or submitting your reels, so no. So that's what I was saying. So, Rob brought up a great question, like, how am I getting these gigs? So as I mentioned, most of my gigs come from referrals. I work with companies and built this relationship with people, and I'm the kind of dude that goes beyond just like the working floor. We'll go grab like a beer and hang out and chill and talk and just talk life, and I'm that kind of guy. So I get in people's lives, like not intrude, but just get to know them than just over the surface, and that goes a long way. But that's just who I am. I don't do it to get business, but that's just part of my personality, and it works out most of the time. So most of my jobs come from referrals, and then I do more than hitting up or DMing people at this point in my life. I have done that a lot, and I do it sometimes, but now a lot comes from me putting all this content out there. So I've gotten really dope gigs, after starting my YouTube channel. And this one guy emailed me that I had emailed in 2013, and he said, Qazi, it's been a while. I don't know if you remember me, but you reached out to me for some freelance work when you were starting your freelance career. And he's like, dude, I'm so sorry. Like, I never wrote back to you. And he's like, I've been seeing you everywhere on social media, and oh my God, dude, I want to work with you. I'm running a color house. And he's like, I want to do some work with you. And so that's that. So it's like a lot of it is happening because of it now, because I'm just putting my stuff out there and people are reaching out to me. But every now and then, yes, I do. Like, I do put my stuff on LinkedIn, and I'll DM someone big, that I'm connected to through someone, and then I'll start a conversation based on that, and then just pure value. I don't do the let me buy you a cup of coffee. I mean, you're not tricking anyone. Like, people can buy their own coffee. So I mean, that's sort of like an old school tactic. Like, I do most of the this is what I do, and if you ever need help with this and that, like, I can work with any budget, blah blah blah. Like, I'll tailor made a team for you, and just show people that you can go above and beyond, and you can provide a little bit more than the person that they're already working with or somebody that they're looking for. All right, let me see more questions, but that was a great question. Thank you, Rob. Appreciate it, man. Saad asked, like, if can you elaborate on, the cutting style for your reel? Like, he's saying that, hey, aggressive and then slowing it down. Like, what is it based on? And it's based on it's not necessarily based on music. Like I said, I mean, if you keep giving into feeding into the beats, like 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4, it's gonna kind of turn into, like, a one pony trick. So you don't want to do that. But what I really mean by that is, it's the blend of everything. It's the feeling. Like, it's something in here that's going to drive it, right? So, I mean, when I was showing you how everything was seamlessly falling into place, and then I showed you where I started. I didn't start in the beginning. I just created a little segment that gave me a boost and the vision that I needed for it, and see it, come to fruition and to life. And then I started, by taking that confidence, I started building it all out. Like, it's like just chess. It's like a chess game. You're just putting all these pieces together, and then just make sure that they don't fall apart, and, like, you stay on course. And that's what it is. So I would say, more than going like in a very linear fashion, like this or that, it's more coming from here. But practice makes perfect. I've been making I make a lot of demo reels, by the way, and make a lot, because that's how you're going to get better. Don't treat it like such a pious thing that, oh my God, it has to be done like this and that. Like, don't do it. Like, because when you put that pressure on yourself, you're just never going to want to do it. Like, do it as like it's a, you're going to make a demo reel for Instagram, like a 45 seconds to a minute long reel. Like, it's just going to be for Instagram. It's not that important, whatever. Just put something together. Like, you'll be amazed by practicing for 1 week straight. Your next reel is gonna be freaking astronomically better, and you're gonna look back and be like, holy hell, I didn't know that I had that in me. And get excited when you get those wins, when you get those W's. Like, freaking, sometimes my wife runs into my freaking room. She's like, why are you screaming? And I'm like, I'm screaming because I'm freaking kicking ass. I'm the shit. Like, look at this cut. And then I play through the cut, and she's like, holy shit, this is really good. And my wife is not the one that's just gonna, tell me that I'm the greatest for no reason. Like, she's just like, oh shit, this is actually really good. Like, so I give myself props more than anyone else. I am my own biggest hype man. So all those things go hand in hand. Thank you, Saad. So Shiva asked, like, how to color grade all your footage. For color grading, I use DaVinci Resolve. I don't mess with, Premiere or something like that. If there's a forecast that I can, if there's something that I can forecast right now, I can tell you that 5 years from now, Resolve is gonna be the freaking tool to use. Like, I'm telling you right now, already 100% of the companies that are doing color work and finishing are using DaVinci Resolve. And the biggest pain in the ass, those who know what I'm talking about, is the conforming process, where you take Premiere or Avid's project, you bring it into Resolve, and you have to spend a day or something like that, or more than a day, conforming everything. When you edit in Resolve, you don't have to conform anything. You just go into the color page, you start grading that. All the information is already there. So that right there saves tens of thousands, and for movies and stuff, probably hundreds of thousands, millions of dollars. Okay, so I know it for a fact. Their long-term plan is to be the one-stop shop. And I recently, a month ago, started using Resolve as an editor, and I don't want to go back. Like, I still use Premiere because a lot of these shops, like commercial houses and stuff, are still pretty heavy on Premiere. But I'm telling you, they're going to be the first ones who are going to adapt, like, DaVinci Resolve, because they do finishing, and the process is so expensive and so, clunky and things like that, and, error prone. And once they find out and get bought into how strong Resolve is going to change everything, because all these big commercial companies are going to start using Resolve, and then Premiere is going to be history when it comes to an editor, because it's been around for so long, but it's so glitchy. It still feels like a freaking beta, and Resolve has been romancing with the editing and the sound design and, that territory, and already feels so much mature. And that's coming from somebody who edits in Resolve, Premiere, Final Cut 10, and Avid. So that's my 2 cents on that. So I would say, Shiva, I would say get on Resolve, start editing in Resolve, and then grade in Resolve, because Lumetri ain't jack shit. I'm sorry. Like, if you guys use Lumetri and think that that's the shit, it's actually just shit. It's nothing else. Like, when you understand the power of Resolve and what you can do and how fast you can do it and how proper it is, it will blow your freaking mind. Let me see. Thank you, Pedro. Appreciate it, man. Saad asks, who does my graphics for me? I do my graphics, and it's just all done in After Effects, and a lot of them are based on, paid motion graphics package that I might purchase, and then I will just redesign it and just mold it to my needs. So a lot of it is like just repurposed, and then I build on that. Okay, so RS Partiban asks, brother, what do you do when you receive something? Basically, I think what you're saying is that how do you grade a footage that's basically shot in standard? It's pretty simple. You don't have to spend that much time. All you have to do is just bring up some information. So most of the time, if there's one tip that I can give you, stuff that's shot in standard, the middle wheel, which is your midtones, which is your gamma, that's your best friend. That is it. Because with the Rec 709 look baked into the footage, it's going to be clipping, it's going to be hitting the top and the bottom, so you don't have to worry about the top and the bottom. It's always going to be the middle section. It might be too crushed or something, so when you take your gamma and you just lift it up, boom, you solve that problem. That shot is done. Move on to the next one. A lot of the times the saturation is going to be baked into it too. So just keep an eye on the saturation. And obviously temperature, if it's shot wrong, if it's outside and shot 3200 instead of 56, then you have to correct that. But the biggest 2 cents that I can give you: don't overanalyze it, don't overthink it, don't try to re-engineer, make it a log. A lot of people I know, a lot of newbies, they'll take a Rec 709 footage, they'll turn it into log, and then they'll try to remake it into a film look or something. It doesn't happen. It was shot one way, you can't really take it there. You can you'll end up damaging the footage more than helping it, and introducing a lot of artifacts and things like that. So with grading, if you go on my Instagram and see one of my recent posts, I said that you have to be gentle and aggressive at the same time. And I think it might not make any sense until I show you what I mean. But color grading is all about that balance, all about that balance, all about that balance. So you do something that's just, you got to start off aggressive. So just throw it all in there, and then start pulling back and be gentle, be gentle, be gentle. Save everything, save the highlights, save the shadows, don't crush anything. Keep that saturation. Then at the end, go aggressive again, go ham again, and push it till you just feel like it breaks right there, but it's holding on. That's a grade. Because when you go and look at all the movies and stuff like that, it's just on that cusp. It's sitting there. I mean, they are pushing, they're exercising that. They're pushing it so much, and then they're keeping it there. And the difference between a professional colorist and an amateur is that they keep it right in the middle, too safe, too much, over the top, and it's finding that balance. Okay? Alright guys, if you guys don't have any other questions, I'm going to wrap it up. Thank you so much for watching. And guys, again, for the courses, right now I'm working on a course for how to be a profitable, basically, freelancer. So how to start off your career as a freelancer and what goes into it. And I'm going to touch tons of different stuff in that. And it will have a little bit of a technical knowledge, but it's going to be loaded with what helped me. I'm going to basically in that course be super transparent, show me my pay stubs and things like that, what helped me with what and how I got where I am, and what's my future looks like and where I'm headed, and all that stuff. And then the other course is going to be how to color grade a TV commercial. So in that one, we're going to get technical, and I'm going to show you how to go about it, how long should it take, and I'm even going to take it a step further to kind of get in there to help you how to even land that job, and then do that spot, grade that spot, and then when you're delivering it, what to look for, if there's different distributions for Instagram, blah blah blah, what are the things that you need to worry about, different color spaces and things like that. But I'm gonna keep it all fun. You know how I do. I mean, I just make this stuff so practical that you can just hear my words, take it, and apply it. I don't believe in like the color theories and this and that, and it's just all boom boom. Let's just, no, it's boring. It just puts me to sleep, okay? And the proof is in the pudding. So that's all I'm gonna say. I'm gonna leave you guys on that note. Love you guys. Thank you so much for sticking around. Really means everything to me, guys. I'm gonna drop a link to a let pack. Make sure to grab it, and I love you guys. See you hopefully next week.